Hello, my name is Maxine Samone. I'm here to share a touch of Venus with you, and we have new hair. Yes, finally. I took a break yesterday so I could do my hair. I watched TV, and that was nice because I don't really sit back and just watch movies and get in. I don't even allow myself to get into shows because I will watch it from beginning to end, hyper focus. Especially when I'm attached to the characters, All of a sudden, now I'm hopping on camera, my throat is tightening up again. But how are you guys doing? I'm going to be posting more videos on YouTube. If you're seeing this on YouTube, welcome. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I'm going to get into a collective message. Also, when I first hopped on camera, the song started playing in my head, International Players Club. When he starts going, but he's saying, I choose you, I choose you, baby. Like over and over and over. That started going in my head. I didn't really come on here with any particular download, so I'm assuming that has something to do with the messages today. Spiritual connection. We just cut the deck to spiritual connection. If you're new here, there are workshops on my website that are pay what you can if you want to get into your studies. I have one on there called the Venus Codes. I've been talking about this for a while, how to align with the frequency of love and abundance. I also have my personal readings available. You can only book through atouchofvenus.com. Okay? Anybody else that's messaging you or reaching out to you first is impersonating me. Please don't fall for the, fall for the things, okay? Let me clear my throat. But yes, International Players Club. But specifically the chorus, I choose you, and it makes me think of that music video. And every time I say that, I start getting chills. So I don't know if you guys are going to be having a conversation or if this is a message from the divine about, maybe, well, we did see spiritual connection. It could be a message from the divine about being chosen, having a particular path. Ooh, and we have Kalima. Goodwill. So it's like, it was really interesting. The shows that I was watching while I was doing my hair, they all were around the topic of the things that shame will make you do. Shame is a motherfucker, okay? Not being able to, it's like trying to play both, like have your cake and eat it too kind of thing. It's like, no, you need to pick a side, you know what I'm saying? And shame will have you feeling like you're afraid to lose what you have in order to gain what you really want because you're ashamed of what you really want, Sacred pleasure. And I feel like our desires get pushed into the shadows and it makes us so fearful about being seen for who we really are. So there's something, and we have the original self and sacred pleasure. So I feel like the collective that I'm reading for, you're being shifted kind of like, I feel like it's gentle nudges from the divine to release shame around the path that you really want to take, maybe the person that you really want to be with, all of those things. To really step into your divinity, your divine path. Tiger spirit rises. Archangel Agnachiel, Adnachiel, and Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye is really powerful. I'm not an expert with crystals, but I know that Tiger's Eye is pretty powerful. It's number 13, so that's a very powerful number as well. That is connected to death and rebirth. But it's like this flame is really standing out to me at the top of this card, Crystal Angel number 444. Tiger spirit rises. Okay, let's get into it. This is a theme. And then we have discernment on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. And this is green. So definitely following your heart's guidance is going to be a theme. I got my chlorophyll. It looks black, but I swear it's green. My son's always asking, why are you drinking black? Why are you drinking black? I'm like, it's not. It's green. It tastes like mint, really. Okay. That's even a little bit of a little side message, you know? Because this green card at the bottom of the deck is what made me feel like this is heart-led decision making, you know? And chlorophyll is supposed to have all the nutrients. It's like what makes plants green, you know? And so it helps with all these different vitamins and minerals and all of these things. It helps with clearing the skin and all of this stuff. But it looks black in the cup, you know? And people may misunderstand you when you're taking your heart-led path. Just thinking about the colors, like black usually is associated with like protection or but other people that are not really like attuned to these types of things, they just assume that you're like one of the, I don't know, you're just like a weird, you know what I'm saying, a weirdo. Which if you're weird because you're following your heart's path, so be it, you know what I'm saying? But you know, they put you in a group, you know, and you're kind of like labeled as I don't understand you, you feel misunderstood. But if you looked closely, it's actually green. It's actually heart-led. You know what I'm saying? It's actually purifying. It's all of those things. But anyway, we bring you the gift of the Tiger Spirit rising. You're being empowered with a truth more potent than fear. Your spirit is rapidly expanding beyond what opinion and logic can contain. It needs to be free to run wild with divine grace in the world. Your life, your destiny, your divine fulfillment requires that you have the courage to roar for love, to refuse to be put down, to respect yourself, and let your untamed loving heart be free. Your spirit creates a field of divine electricity through your body and mind that can liberate others from conformity and social conditioning. What were we just talking about? Allowing them to break away from systems based in control and fear. As your tiger spirit rises, you excite and empower the tiger spirit and others to rise above conditioning as they discover the wild divine spirit being that they are in truth. Beautiful. I'm just going to skim through the rest of the card because these cards are really long and intense. I say that every time I get on camera, but I'm just like, it's just a lot to read. But I feel like we are kind of picking up on the vibes already. Allowing the wildness within will not make you a harmful influence in the world. It's quite the opposite. It will free you to live and love as you choose. It opens you up to become a non-resistant channel for the divine grace to flow through. Your life becomes filled with mystery and with magic. You feel like a full color, high definition version of yourself instead of the blurry, faded image that society would have you believe is a true reflection of your divine beauty. This is an opportunity to break away from the tribe, step into your divine destiny in a new way. It will connect you with a new conscious crew, but you may have to take some steps on your own for a while. So you may be kind of going through this separation from people, places, things that used to resonate with you, but really it was due to your social conditioning, you know. And now it's so interesting. We were talking about the shows I was watching was about releasing shame, you know, and how our desires get pushed into the shadows and then it becomes this formless monster. And it's saying that we have to release the fear of being misunderstood, release the fear of being out on our own until we are able to join forces with basically our soul tribe, you know, our chosen family, rather than that's been a theme that's been coming up, is like this concept of fated life versus destined life. Your fated life feels like, to me, the life that you live in an unconscious state where things just feel like they happen to you, where you're not connected to your co-creator abilities or your their creation codes, where you're allowing your patterning to kind of take over. And then you have your destined life, where it's like you start to enact your free will and you start to make choices that are difficult because you're going against the patterning. But it's like this split that starts happening, and you have to leave a lot behind in your fated life, and you start to choose your destined path, So this is, look at, I don't know if you can see, but I got the chills again. So Spirit is saying we're on point. So there may be some, what feels like tension rising, that is pushing you out of your comfort zone. And what stood out to me in that, reading that thing, one line was saying you may have to go out on your own for a while. So having the fear, or getting past the fear of being alone, which I don't really feel that that's like a big thing for this collective. It's more, I feel like almost it's difficult once you've been on your own for a while to open your heart up to be able to receive the acceptance and love of other people, because I think that you become comfortable being misunderstood, and it's like, nobody understands me. I'm just a rebel with a cause, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, maybe so, but not for your whole life, But I do feel like there is, even like having that mindset. Why have I been hearing separate yourself? Yes, exactly. It's like, this invitation for this split to happen, but it's not a bad split, But it feels like, even having that mindset of like rebel with a cause, I'm so misunderstood, yeah. It's like you may really have all this creative potential too. Maybe you create things, but you don't really feel inclined to share it because you assume that you'll be misunderstood. And so there's, I feel like a gap right there. That's where it feels like there could be some area for improvement, because if you already assume that you're going to be misunderstood, then there's no bridge for connection, you know what I'm saying? You're leaning into people's judgment. Everybody has that within ourselves. We all have that, but it's like you're almost tapping into your own judgment of other people as well, being like, they're not going to get it, blah, blah, blah. And so like, rather than feeding into the potential for connection or for love or for whatever, we're leading into the potential of judgment, which is, I saw this quote that was like, both fear and faith require belief in something unseen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get to choose what you're going to lean into right now. I feel like we're kind of trailing off, but Spirit is saying, you gotta be a little bit fearless right now. You are going to be the one that's sparking somebody else's flame, inviting people to go out on their own, to live unconventionally, maybe a very creative life, maybe I don't know, maybe this collective has like a bit of wanderlust, so let's see what happens. What areas of life? Why are these in the reverse though? So we have Uranus, Genius. So there's some spiritual downloads that are going to be coming through. All these are in the reverse, which I find really interesting. We have Ground Cross, Provoker. This is usually talking about the tension that's rising. I don't feel like, maybe that's what we're used to though. How we're talking about fated life versus destined life. We're used to tension building to where it's like, oh, I have to make a decision. I have to get this fire under my ass to get me to go. And it's like, no, we're choosing now, because it feels like fire element desire is in the reverse again. And then sacred or solar eclipse and the revolution is in the reverse again as well. I don't think that we're using our fire energy the same way, which is beautiful. Actually, seeing all these in the reverse does not give me a bad feeling. It's more so like embodying the flame, like you, again, being the spark for other people and not having to have spirit come in and burn the whole thing down. You know what I'm saying? You invited that in, but then it would feel like this fated thing that happened, or this uncontrollable circumstance, and it's like, oh, my life is on fire again. So it prompts you to move because all this tension is built. I don't feel like this collective has graduated I feel like this collective has graduated out of needing sacred fire to come in and like purify their life. I think that this collective now is leaning more towards following their inspiration and using their fire energy in that way, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful transition to be in. I want to kind of get some more clarity, and then we're going to get into the tarot. The tarot. Yeah. Interesting, because again, going back to the song, I Choose You, or International Players Club, but like, I Choose You, it's like, it makes me think of the music video, and it's like a wedding, you know? So there's some kind of commitment here. And then we have the Hierophant and the Mirror effect. I don't know. We got a couple, it's like layered message or something. We have Earth. So you're taking more stable steps. You know, like I said, we're using our fire energy differently. It feels like also there was a message that came through in one of the collective messages I posted or whatever that was saying it feels like the crops have been purified. You know how farmers use like fire to purify the crops to make it like good for planting. You know what I'm saying? Why are my words? Maybe that's not the best analogy for this reading, but it reminds me of like you already went through the purification process, so now the soil is fertile for new growth, you know? Ooh, we have Scorpio, and the way that others view you is none of your business. Ooh, so you're going through a big transformation. You're taking, your transformation is like kind of grounding in right now. So you might be picking up on a little bit of, I don't know if it's paranoia that people are like gossiping about you, or if it's actually happening, whether it's happening or if it's not happening. I think there's an opportunity to use this energy to transmute into power. Meaning you can just set the intentions of spirit. Like anybody that's got your name in their mouth, it turns into money in my bank account type of thing. Say those type of affirmations. Whether it's good, it's bad, it turns into more opportunities and more money for me because they're giving you energy. And rather than taking that and feeling offended by it or using that as fuel as well, moving out of this like vengeful transformation into I'm doing this because it's best for me. Yes, we have the shadow popping out. It's like there's a switch in why and how you're transforming. And I think that's beautiful, but I think that you're learning how to, I don't know, you're just kind of letting go of that narrative around shame and being misunderstood and all of these things. It's just like giving very misunderstood Scorpio vibes. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, also just note this, like people of your past can only give you the grace of transformation if they see that for themselves. So while you're over here trying to possibly convince somebody that you've changed and or act differently in front of them or put like your shadow inviting them into your life so that you can prove something about your past, that you can vindicate your past or something like that, that's a waste of time. Because these people, one, you're doing it for you, but also people don't have the capacity to see change in other people if they themselves have not gone through their own transformations. It's like you can't recognize what that looks like. You just think, you know, those are the type of people that say like, you acting different, you acting funny, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I'm literally different. I'm literally not the same. My consciousness is literally not where you left it. You know what I'm saying? It's elevated since then. So it's like, those are slight little things that knock you down lower off your frequency, you know, like where you're at. And instead of going into this proving energy and using all of your energy to in that way, or completely isolating yourself because you feel misunderstood, Spirit is saying just transmute that energy. They're giving it to you for free, you know. You're in their minds rent free. You might as well take up space, you know what I'm saying? So we have Libra. Interesting. And the Empress. Ooh. Let me get one more. That one flipped and it says the middle way. The line between opposites and extremes. Interesting. You want to keep yourself in a balanced state. We live. You want to keep yourself in a balanced state so that you can receive. You don't want to be in this proving energy of proving that you transformed and proving that you're different or proving that you've elevated to these people, because they don't fucking matter, first of all. You could, like, it's like this thing of understanding that because you are such a powerful co-creator, that you invited these people into your life, you manifested them into your life because there's a part of your consciousness or subconscious, I guess, that wants to vindicate your past, you know. But really what you're actually wanting to do, if we shine a light on that, we put consciousness on it, it's like you're wanting to connect with the past version of yourself to move forward, whether that's through, you want to do some like forgiveness or healing or whatever for your past version of yourself. That past version of yourself needs some attention. So instead you are inviting people, your shadow is inviting people that are from those past chapters of your life back into your life, because you know, basically our reality is a mirror reflection of us. So when we meet those people, when we see those people, it kind of puts us back in that state. You might feel like, I don't know, if you run into somebody at the fucking grocery store and you haven't seen each other in a while or whatever, you might feel yourself regress mentally, emotionally, back into whatever role that you guys played in each other's lives just in that brief second. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. Like, I feel like this happened to me not too long ago. I saw somebody at the I was getting water, and, you know, picking up water for the big jugs of water. And I saw somebody that I used to know back in college days. And I was just like, immediately my whole body went hot, you know, like heart beating and everything. One, it was a weird feeling because it was like, I don't even find you attractive in this state of life anymore, in this stage of life anymore. But also I felt myself go back into like when I was fucking 16, 17, 18, 19, when I knew him, you know, and I was just like, but then I also saw, I was reading his body language. He was so fucking nervous. He was like stuttering over his words. It was like he was surprised. Obviously we were kind of mirroring each other in that way. But it was like, I really sat in the car after that because we talked a little here and there, and I was just like, I sat back and I was like, why do I feel this way? You know what I'm saying? Because I've elevated out of this. If I met him on the street today, I would not feel, you know, if I didn't know him from our past interactions, I would not be feeling that way because I don't even find that person attractive in that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of like inviting these people into your life because you're wanting to connect with a version of yourself that was available at that time then. Does that make sense? And so there's something to be processed there, and it's not about the other person at all, because what it brought me to was hella cringe and shame around what I was doing, how I was acting, how damn thirsty I was. And it was just like, oh, like also releasing all of that cringe and shame, because that lives inside of me still. And I don't want to look at it because it's cringy, you know what I'm saying? And so being able to connect with that version of myself and being like, you didn't know any better. You were trying to get validation and love from somebody that did not have the capacity to give it. And also you did not know how to pick them because of all these other patterns in your life. You know what I'm saying? So it was an interesting dynamic. And I feel like it put me in more of the driver's seat of understanding like how I would like to move forward in other connections. So this is something that may be coming up for you. We had unparalleled popping out, but I don't know. Let's see. Stay focused. Remember why you started. So there, it feels like, okay, so this other reader had said, you know how you go into cleaning mode, you know, you're cleaning your room and you end up with like a hat on, a scarf on, one shoe, reading a card that you got from a friend years ago, and it's like Spirit is asking you to clean out your room and throw out things that you don't need, right? To process certain things, but it's almost like you're kind of getting stuck in those phases of cleaning because there's so much nostalgia, about this fated life versus your destined life, and they're really wanting you to stay focused and remember that we're clearing out this field that has been burned down, basically. You know what I'm saying? You're cleaning out your room with all this useless, it's not useless, it served a purpose at one point, all this shit, and we're trying to clear it out because you're about to be stepping into a new chapter of your life that is more destined and you need space. But yeah, so then we have the Hermit, so you may be processing a lot right now. And then we have you're beginning to realize who you are by going through this process of reflection. You're starting to not only reflect on the times where you didn't know who you were, but you're also reflecting on how far you've come. I think that you need to celebrate those moments. I'm just picturing like specifically when I've cleaned my room when I was younger and I come across my book of like, I don't know, certificates, accomplishments. I look and I'm dusting my trophy shelf because I used to play like sports and stuff, and it's like you kind of reflect and you're like, damn, it reminds you of all these little moments, and they're not all bad moments. I think that's what Spirit also wants to highlight. They're not all bad moments, We have Sagittarius here, and then we have Cancer in the reverse. Interesting. Leo. And then we have unparalleled again. So Sagittarius to me is like extracting the wisdom from all of these moments in your fated life, extracting the wisdom and the accomplishments and it's not feeding your ego, but it's like really putting the pieces together of the story, because your story is inspiring, and I feel like there's been a lot of messages too around like using your throat chakra, telling your story, sharing that with people, inspiring others, being okay with going off on your own, okay with like releasing the shame around sharing your story, because there could be people in your fated life, your shadow life or whatever, that are going to be feeling really uncomfortable when you actually start to say what you need to say, And so Sagittarius doesn't care about none of that. They're very blunt, and they say the truth. They extract the wisdom from situations, They're also teachers, master teachers. So I feel like there's a clearing out of the old home, Cancer in the reverse, the clearing out of your old foundation, this whole thing that we just talked about, the field kind of thing. And it's potent for new creation, but it's potent for a new identity, specifically with Leo here. This is healthy ego. This is like reworking yourself, re-identifying, choosing what you identify with, which is really interesting because I feel like that what Spirit's bringing me to is kind of an uncomfortable conversation to me of like, because it's something that I don't talk about because I don't really have an opinion on, but it's kind of like how we see in consciousness, we're kind of elevating into being able to choose who we are, like identifying with these new labels, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like my personal opinion on those things don't really matter for the reading, but I feel like I'm saying that as an example, as like, I don't identify with blah, blah, blah. Like Spirit's like, that is available to us consciously now. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to identify with anything in your past just because it was your past and it made you who you are. That does not mean that is you. You know what I'm saying? So you can choose a different identity at any time, because literally on the collective conscious level, that is where we're at, an elevation of choice, of free will. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm trying to tiptoe around sensitive topics, but this is an unparalleled time where we're not in fixed energy anymore. We're in mutable energy. You know, we're in transitionary energy. And there was something that was coming through earlier, like I may do a workshop on the Pluto and Scorpio generation, this millennial generation, and how we're basically like these death and birth doulas ushering in a new reality. And so it's really interesting with Scorpio energy because it's a fixed water sign, but it actually is about moving that fixed energy, you know, unblocking that stagnant water energy, like through these transformations. And so these millennials or whatever, we are very much, we've emphasized a lot of important things that need to be brought to the surface on emotional, mental, spiritual levels. And we've helped to move a lot of that energy. But in moving that, we also feel so fucking unstable. You know what I'm saying? But we've also, like, that's our life. You know what I'm saying? That's what we grew up in. We've transitioned so many things. We've transitioned the internet. We've transitioned the workforce. We're transitioning mental health. We're transitioning spiritual health. We're transitioning, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things, how we raise our children, if we want to have children or not, how we look at partnerships and relationships, like everything is getting reworked. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's really interesting with Scorpio energy is like wanting to feel secure, but also being the catalyst for change at the same time, you know? So interesting that's coming through, but let's get into, I don't know what tarot deck I want to use. I guess this one, I'll go with the traditional. I feel like this message is so all over. There's like so many layers to it. It's kind of all over the place, but it all connects at the same time. So let's see if we can get specifics. I feel like this is more, like I said, this is a collective message, but it's talking to a big group of people in this transition that we're in. But also kind of highlighting that it's constant transition for this particular, I feel like this collective could be, you know, talking about a generation, a group of people that maybe came down here. Like I said, the channeled song that I had was International Players Club, and it kept saying, I choose you, you know what I'm saying? So it could be specifically talking to the chosen ones. And I feel like there's, you know, Actually, I don't have any opinions on that. I feel like that's an empowering language, but I know that some people feel some type of way about, oh, the 144,000, like there's no way that it's only blah, 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 blah. I do feel like people are chosen, and I do feel like people come down here with a specific mission, and that does not take away from any other people's mission, but I do feel like there are specific people that are here to do very specific things, okay? And it can be confusing because that's not the world that we live in. Like, it's not made for that. It wasn't created for that. We have a Queen of Cups popping out. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces woman specifically. Or someone that is very psychic, very intuitive, very compassionate. But we were talking about all that water energy. It's interesting because we have so much fire on the board, but then it's really... I'm feeling like a lot of water, but, and then we have the fire. We have, like, it's interesting because without moving these stagnant emotions, without being able to see past what's on the physical level and like making all of these transitions, we will not be able to get where we're going. And it feels like there's a new beginning. We have the Ace of Wands and we have the Fool, but it's only through allowing what feels like this very psychic or emotional empathic generation or these chosen people to do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not allowing it. It's like them stepping up to the plate and bringing it back to this card, having that tiger eye spirit and freeing people from these illusions. So then we have the Strength card popping out. So we're talking about will, we're talking about confidence, we're talking about spiritual strength specifically. Like there's a group of, a group of warriors. As I say that, we have the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. We have a group of warriors here on the planet right now. Spiritual warriors, spiritual leaders. Oop. Spiritual warriors, spiritual leaders that are here to share a truth with the collective. We have the truth, breakthroughs, clarity being manifested. This is what the collective consciousness is ready for, and that's why we are here, you know? And also, you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready. Yep. That's literally, I'm talking to Pluto Scorpio group, or people that have major Scorpio placements. Maybe you have a Scorpio North Node, I don't know. But look at how we have the death riding in, and it's riding in on this Knight of Wands. Like, it's following this, it's an offer to the collective, but it's coming in the form of death energy, meaning that some shit has to be ripped away first. I love that depiction. You know, it's like literally these beautiful, empathic, psychic, emotionally intuitive, creative souls, very artistic, are carrying this vibration of death and rebirth, you know? So it's like, it's giving artist revolution, it's giving psychic revolution. Yes, I remember. That's why I'm like, okay, we are, and then we still have this breakthrough on the bottom of the deck. So it feels like, I don't know, it's giving me a lot of chills. It feels like this death energy is like kind of hidden behind this. It's the concept of death being misunderstood. Also, kind of bringing it back to the misunderstanding messages, you know, in the beginning, and wearing black and all of those things. It's just like, oh, I'm misunderstood. But it's like, we're having the, you know, like the artist that's like the misunderstood artist, or the struggling artist, or whatever. And it's like, no, like, Spirit is literally using you. There's a card that is in one of my angel decks over here that talks about the angel of death, and how he's actually very loving and very friendly, but he waits. His job is to help you transition from a painful human life into the eternal soul, you know? And so that's a very loving job. But it's a thankless job, you know? He's very misunderstood and all of these things. And so, like, it kind of gives me that vibe. This generation is kind of like that vibe, or people that have these Scorpio placements have that vibe. And it's like deeply passionate, but also destructive, you know? And being okay with being misunderstood, because people will not, their ego will not like you. They will not gravitate towards you on a conscious level. They'll gravitate towards you on a subconscious level, because their soul desires to be reborn. Their ego does not desire to be reborn, you know? So you may find more people manifesting you into their life, and kind of being on this loner tip, you know what I'm saying? There's a level of detachment that has to come with this kind of lifestyle, because you're here to be a spiritual teacher, you know? Literally, the Hierophant coming out again. You're here to free their souls from this suffering through ego death. And this can show up in so many ways, but it's then they're able to go home finally, to a real home, meaning they're able to find solace in themselves, meaning they're able to actually connect with their divinity and not look outside of themselves constantly. And like, there's like, when you're born into this world, there's a void space, and we're constantly trying to fill it with things, and what we really want is to connect to the divine, you know, to connect to the divinity within us. But we're also like, all these constructs, you know what I'm saying? All these like things that bring us so far away from who we really are. And it's really sad, actually. It's very fucking sad. Literally, oh my God. As I'm saying that, like, we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Five of Wands, and we have the Hermit. All of these things, all of these betrayals, all of these fights, all of this competition, all of these constructs, this is such a negative ball of clusterfuck of shit, you know what I'm saying, between actions and thoughts and all of these things that are put in your way from just turning inward, you know what I'm saying? And so Spirit is saying that you cut through it. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, I just picture like it's like a scalpel, you know, how to get right to where it needs to get, you know. As I say that, we have the Eight of Pentacles. It's like I was picturing like a doctor with like surgical, like I know how to get exactly where I need to get, and then we have like this person that's working on something. That's what I was picturing in my mind, is like literally like meticulous. You know how to strike the chord that needs to be struck, I guess. And it's again misunderstood, but it's very healing. It's necessary. You are divinely led to do this, which I think is it's emphasizing even more the need to really allow yourself to say what you need to say, to not live from a shameful place, meaning like, because shame blocks your creative centers, but your creative center, meaning your sacral, is connected to your throat chakra. Literally, I've been saying this for a little while now on these readings. It's like, if you look at the anatomy of your vocal cords, it matches the anatomy of your uterus. Whether you're a man or a woman or whatever, you still have an energetic womb too. And that is going to match the vibration of, like, this is why words create frequency, and frequency creates, you know, we know that whole spiel. So it's like the same thing. So when you're able to speak with less shame, speak the truth, like say what you're seeing, even if it breaks somebody's ego, as long as the energy behind what you're saying is pure and you're doing it with love, and you know you feel divinely led to say something, please say it, because it's going to free someone. It's going to be a tower moment. You are literally a walking tower. It's going to be a tower moment. But you're freeing people. It's like, I don't want you to suffer, so I'm going to say what I need to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say what Spirit is putting it on my heart to say, you know. Anything else? People will I'm gonna get one more before I say anything. Yeah, Queen of Wands. This is how you're going to attract people that appreciate you for who you are and the energy that you hold. You're going to attract everything that you need as you begin to use your voice and really step into this, what feels like death energy. That sounds so, you know, but really, really embodying the fact that you are a tower, that rather than, okay, so it's like a shift in mindset between like this fated life and the destined life, right? But also it's a shift in you manifesting people into your life for you to review things, to people manifesting you in their life because you are the Queen of Wands that is here to kind of like be a tower, you know what I'm saying? Understanding that it's a very mutual thing, but also it's really stepping into like, it's really about your power. It's really about you understanding like the bigger divine plan. And the more that you're able to basically do the Lord's work, you know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. It's like, I saw another reader that was like, she was referencing, I don't know, she was referencing a biblical story that was like, I think Yeshua was with some other people and they went to travel somewhere, and they're looking for him or whatever, and he was over there preaching basically, or like, you know, teaching or something, and he was like, you think that I came here and wouldn't do my Father's work or something like that. And it's like, everywhere you go, every person you meet, you are here to like shake something up in their spirit, you know? And so like, don't keep yourself small, or don't feel like you can't speak on something, or don't feel like just because you and this person didn't connect on this type of vibe before, like you have to like be closeted in your knowing or your spirituality or what you're picking up, you know? I feel like this collective is coming out with their gifts, whether that's in business or just embodying this in your everyday life, you know? Yeah, because I feel like we have the the 4 of Cups, the 8 of Swords, and then the 5 of Cups. And it's like this opportunity has been being given to you many times, but I feel like you've kept yourself hidden, you know? Your own anxiety is about what people will think about you, the judgment of others, the shame around being shamed for not fitting into society, but you're literally here to break the mold of society. It's a mind fuck, you know? It's like, and so you've learned to kind of like not say things that are going to make people uncomfortable, or when you do, it's like, I'm burning all this shit down. I'm going to tell them about themselves and then I'm gone. And it's like, no, you can do this from a loving space, you know? Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything else but coming from the vibration of love, because that's where your gifts are from and like given to you in that vibration. Does that make sense? We have the 6 of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Wands, and it's like being okay with being not recognized necessarily as because this is very interesting, like depiction. We have the 6 of Wands that normally shows like somebody coming back from battle or whatever that is victorious, you know, they get the recognition that they want. And this is in reverse, but then we have the Knight of Wands, and it's like someone's still holding, they're both holding a wand. This person is seen, the way that they're seen is different. The Knight of Wands is seen as frivolous, as kind of destructive, lustful, all those things. And it's like, people may view you that way, but that's not true. And it's not about how people view you. That's why I think Spirit is saying, like, you guys are both holding a wand. You're using your wand to kind of light little fires. And while people view these fires as tower moments, like, fuck, you're burning my field, you're burning my tower down, but those things were not sustainable anyway. And so you're not going to get the public recognition that you want from these people that you are helping to have ego deaths with. You're going to get recognition from the divine for doing your divine service. You know what I'm saying? Because we have here the tiger's eye. Like I said, this wand is really sticking out to me. It's like, this card was talking about breaking people free from societal expectations and inspiring people. So it's like, they may not thank you now, but their spirit does. You know what I'm saying? And they may thank you later, who knows, but it's not about that, you know. Yes, you are somebody that you're grounding your shadow. This is about forward movement. It's very slow movement, but this card isn't really giving me movement vibes at all. It's just the comparison of, we have this other horse over here, but we have a dark horse here. It's like you're grounding your shadow. And this is going to make you very abundant. We have the Empress coming out here twice, you know. Grounding your shadow, because your shadow isn't... And it's a switch. It's a switch. It's a perspective switch that is happening. That is like... not looking at yourself as this wounded healer or this wounded warrior, and looking at yourself as the Empress, as someone that's here to help usher in a new collective, you know, grounding in the shadow work of the collective. The Empress isn't just about being abundant. It's also like, it gives like doula, it gives mother, you know. And so I feel like there's this switch in perspective from, like, because we have the Page of Swords and then the 9 of Wands in the reverse now, and it's like kind of like being curious about what my life would be like if I embodied this death doula energy for the collective and what that looks like for me, whatever that means to you, you know what I'm saying? And versus being like a wounded healer. That it's almost like the switch of an artist's mindset from like struggling artist to living in the artist revolution where all you see is opportunities all around you, because we live in this like revolutionary period, you know. It's a mindset shift, it feels like. And then we have the Seven of Cups. This is literally like a time to like choose between your emotions, you know, to not get confused about who you are. Hello. We're almost done now, but this will be posted, you know, be posted on the YouTube channel. So then we have standing up for the truth. We have Seven of Wands, the Ace of Swords. We have the Chariot in reverse. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to run away, especially don't have to run away from this realization or this truth, kind of sitting with this perspective shift. I don't know. I feel like this is a good time to kind of sit with these ideas or these feelings that may be coming up around if there's any scenarios where you've invited people from your past to maybe process some things of your past, sitting with yourself with that and really embodying the change, celebrating your old version of yourself for getting you to this point, but not identifying with being a wounded healer anymore, you know? And understanding that your assignment is to embody the truth, you know what I'm saying? To say the truth, to stand up for the truth, to break down these structures of society. Like, this is a very big assignment, but everywhere you go, assume that you've been manifested and you are there to do the Lord's work type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Assume that wherever you go, you don't have to leave your house to do the work. You can be hopping online. You can be, you know, this is really going to be healing for your heart space, because I think as you start to free people from these illusions, it may be a little bit lonely at first, but it'll also bring up a lot of feelings of like feeling ostracized or misunderstood when you're younger. But I think that eventually you will come across people that are either on the same assignment and or that appreciate you for your ability to see the truth. There will be new relationships presented to you that will be healing for the heart. Yeah, Ten of Cups. Literally, you'll be coming across people that are part of your soul tribe, like your chosen family. But if you don't, the alternative, if you don't speak your mind, if you don't say what's on your heart, if you kind of exist in these illusions, you won't be able to actually meet your soul family, because they're not going to recognize you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? So we have the King of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Cups. This is about speaking from your heart, you know. It may be destructive to other people, but again, it's destructive to their ego, not to their soul. So I feel like this will be, I don't know, it's not an easy thing to rise into, but I do feel like these are like, this particular generation, it feels like this is your blueprint. These are your codes. You know what I'm saying? This is like your divine assignment. Like, Pluto is a generational planet, and I'm thinking, like, I'm really feeling like this is a Pluto and Scorpio collective that I'm talking to, or some kind of Scorpio something. Like, we know that we have one Scorpio in the chat right now, but I'm even myself, I have a Scorpio stellium, I have my Scorpio North Node, but again, everything is done with love, through love, you know. We're moving out of this place of doing things from vengeance and understanding our power, and not like using it to burn things down just because it's not working for us specifically anymore. Like, we get tired of it, or tired of like whatever, but it's more like doing it from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Being okay with being that tower from the beginning, because that's the vibration that you hold. Let me see. Affirmations. I can forgive people quickly, release my resentment, and set myself free. So like I said, you may be coming across some people in the past that remind you of how you may have acted when you did not know who you were. That may have made you even feel shame for who you are, because maybe you had this destructive quality about you, quote unquote, this death and rebirth energy about you, and they felt some type of way and they tried to gaslight you or shame you or whatever. Or maybe it's just, I don't know. It's really, I feel like Scorpio placements really have to work through shame, like, and understanding their desires and working with that energy, because it's so potent, it's so powerful. But people will try to make you smaller. They really will. Can I shuffle, please? My productivity stems from inspiration. When I focus on what brings me joy, my tasks become effortless actions. My productivity stems from inspiration. So like I said, you may feel called to go somewhere. Like you're a clear channel for the divine, and releasing all this shame will make you even more of a clear channel for the divine. So when you feel called to go someplace, you may meet somebody, have a conversation. It may be a little bit jarring for them more than it is for you, but it's like, oh, I'm just living my life. I'm just doing what makes me happy. And you will come across people that need your perspective, need your services, need your truth, need just your aura, your energetic vibration around them to, it may be even just what you feel called to wear that day. Maybe you feel like called to wear something a little bit more out of the box, and then somebody sees you and they're like, damn, I really love that. Like, I really need to start expressing myself. And like, it's a whole thing for them. You literally carry the energetic vibration of change. Anything else? I'm a light worker in disguise. I don't have to talk about it. I can just be it. What am I saying? And look at all that blue. It's about expressing yourself, your truth, like really allowing yourself to be seen. And then I release my need to be right. I am defenseless and at peace. So knowing who you are now, this is, like we're saying, a light worker in disguise. I love how they said that. Knowing who you are and knowing that your goals are very, it's aligned with the divine, as destructive as it may feel to others, it's aligned with the divine. There's no reason to like get sucked into the lower vibration of like arguing, fighting, going back and forth. Like, move with grace, you know what I'm saying? Because I am committed to bringing forth my greatness. I will no longer play small. And my genuine desire to serve. Oh my gosh, this fucking thing. TikTok always is doing some extra ass shit. My genuine desire to serve clears the path for me to step into my purpose. I love that. Okay. I was just saying with grace, right? I communicate with ease and grace. People are willing to embrace what I have to say. So, yes. I feel like those are beautiful affirmations to end the reading on. TikTok is being funny right now, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I love this. This is giving power. This is giving alignment. This is giving accepting myself and my passions. Not just my passions. I meant to say like my path, but I guess my passions. This is giving, I like that, light worker in disguise. And especially like considering like Scorpio, it was giving death energy, it was giving all these things, it was giving dark, it was giving black. Again, going back to the chlorophyll like thing, it's like, yes, it looks black, but it's actually green. It's actually very healthy for you. And it's actually like, you should try it. It actually tastes minty. You wouldn't know unless you tried it. You know what I'm saying? And that is literally the message. Okay. I'm going to post this on YouTube. If you're seeing this on YouTube, if you could like, share, subscribe, I would really appreciate it. If you'd like a personal, everything can be found in the link in my bio. You can only book readings on atouchofvenus.com. I've changed over from Snipfeed. Now I have my own Shopify site. I have a workshop on there. There will be new things being uploaded very soon. But yeah, everything's available on there. I will talk to you guys later. Have a beautiful day.